What's up, guys? It's Talia. Welcome back to my channel. Today is Thursday, October the 15th, and I'm here to give you guys another little quick update. And when I say quick, this one's going to be quick because I don't have any haul per se, like stitchy haul. I literally have one thing to show you as far as anything that I've bought. But it's more Halloween, October related than it is stitchy stuff. And I have a few whips to show, but those probably won't take a long time. So since I don't have any stitchy haul, I'm just going to go ahead and jump right in and show you. The only thing that I've bought in these last couple of weeks, I fully blame on Melanie Watkins, aka Soulful Stitcher, because she showed this in an Instagram or Facebook post or something, and I thought maybe it was something that had already been out. Apparently it was something that just came out recently. I love my ghost hunting shows, especially these two, Adam and Amy. I love them too. And it's their show, Kindred Spirits, on the Travel Channel. But this book is really just, you know, they tell stories about places. You know, they tell stories about places. They talk about the equipment and the techniques they use. And just, it's just a general, you know, an informational magazine. Melanie showed this, and then we was at the store. I think me and Andy was at the grocery store a few days later or a week later. And I happened to see it on the rack right there at the register, and didn't even think about it. I was like, oh, I gotta get that. I gotta get that. Unfortunately, since then, I haven't really read much into it, which I probably should do. As soon as I spent the money on it. So that's literally the only thing I bought, because we're trying to conserve our money. So I haven't really bought any stitchy stuff. And so far I've been good. I haven't been tempted. And I've even looked through like stash and load groups. I've looked on Etsy. And I even considered, you know, it's only, you know, just buy a pattern that's only a few dollars. You know, it's not going to count for much. But I'm in this mindset right now where I was just like, I don't love anything enough to want to buy anything. So, and I've even been strong in the Mo Sale group and the Be Stitch Me group and all that good jazz. I've been good. So far I'm still holding out. But unfortunately, with as much as I've spent in September, I'm still so far away from being back in the black in Stitch from Stash. So I've given up on Stitch from Stash for the rest of the year, because I don't know how many finishes I'm going to be able to get in, and that's really the only thing that's going to make up for that, is if I can get a lot of finishes, a good amount of finishes in. Because my little $20 budget every month is not going to count for anything. Because I think I was in the hole by about $150, $170 in the hole by the end of September. So, yeah. There's no way my little $20 budget is going to be able to make up for that every month. So I'm giving up on Stitch from Stash this year. Maybe we'll try again some other time. So let me show you what I've been working on. I know it's not been a whole lot. The first thing I have to share with you guys is I finished the bottom bouquet on She Is Fierce. I'm so happy. Oh, and FYI, I know you can see it sparkle. This is a Crystal Heartland by Picture This Plus, 16 count Crystal Heartland. So But I have a funny story to tell you guys. This bouquet right here did not wanted to be a little bit of a pain when I first started it, because when I first started it, I had done the line right here, and so then I counted down and I went down and I started doing all the teal. So I stitched all that teal color right there, that dark teal, and apparently missed a couple of stitches. Sorry, I apologize, my nails are dirty. Apparently missed a few stitches, like these right here. Like I did one set of 3. It's like 3 stitches twice. There's like 3 stitches there and then 3 stitches there. Apparently I missed one of those. And so that through. And then when I did the one that I did, like this top one, you skip, say, 1 stitch between, 1 row stitch between, and then the second one you skip 2 rows between. Apparently I had gone down 2 rows and only stitched the 1. So that threw my count off by 1 stitch height-wise. And I didn't realize it until I had done all that teal and I started on this dark gray branch right here. And it wasn't matching up the way it should have. And that's when I discovered my mistake. So I toyed around with, okay, do I fudge this? I don't really want to fudge it because then it's going to mess up everything else around it. And then I said, okay, I'll take out that top branch and I'll move it a stitch up. And I could not bring myself to have one side of my piece be 1 stitch higher than the other side. Even though technically that line does not exactly match up. I couldn't do it. I could not do it. So I was just like, screw it. I just ripped everything out. And then I went back and I restarted, and I started with that yellow bud right there, the yellow flower bud. Did that first, and then I went and did that branch again with the correct stitches, the way it should have been. And then I did the dark gray branch. It matched up right, and then I just kind of moved around a little bit, one at a time. And after that, I didn't have any problem. But, however, when I was going with the seam ripper and ripping all that teal out, I kind of nicked my fabric. It's right here. You can see it. It's right there. You can kind of see it. It looks a little fuzzy. I'm going to get some of the fray check stuff. And I'm going to take like just the tiniest dab and either on the front or the back, and maybe both, and make sure that's secure. You can't really see it if you're looking at it from far away. But yeah, I know it's there. And so literally the only thing I have left to do is all of the baby information down here. And I have charted her name. I just haven't started stitching it yet. So, and the sample name that they give on the pattern is pretty short. And her name is like twice that long. I think I charted it and it ended up being 118 stitches wide. And the letters are like 15 high or something like that. Because you've got letters, like your capital letters go up. And then you've got like G and J and stuff like that. But I'm not using any J's. I have 1 G in her name. And it goes down. So yeah, I've charted her name. I'm going to go ahead and stitch her name. I did make that decision. I'm going to go ahead and stitch her name on there. But you guys probably won't see it until again until I come back after she's born. And I will show the completely finished piece next time. I mean, after she's born. So, but if you follow me on Instagram, or if you're in Stitch Mania, I'll probably post a picture in Stitch Mania of when I get her name completed, her first and middle name. So it's going to be considerably longer. And I considered it briefly, because in the pattern, it's a PDF pattern that, sorry, I forgot to mention. The pattern is called She Is Fierce. It's by an Etsy shop called PineconeMcGee. And you can have them custom chart the name for $18. No, thank you. I will do it myself. And I did chart the name. I really wanted to do it like on paper, but the only graph paper he had was like this huge pad of graph paper, and the squares were like really big, and I wouldn't have had enough to graph it all the way across. So I got an app on my phone, and I kind of graphed it out that way, kind of going back and forth between the PDF file on my phone and the app on my phone. Kind of graphed it out that way. And unfortunately, where I started, when you first open up to do a new design on this app, it has you pick out the size of your fabric, your count, your size. And so when I did that, it would have been big enough, but when it opens up for the design, there's a huge X where the middle of the fabric is, where the middle of the fabric is. I didn't know what that was until I had charted her name and ran out of room after the last letter. And so I took that and counted out how many stitches I knew it was going to be. So her name is 118 stitches. So I went to the part of my pattern that had that empty space underneath the last word of the quote. So I counted out from the middle, halfway on either side. And then I had to count down according to their sample name. I counted down the number of stitches that I needed to be between that last word of the quote and where her name was supposed to be. So counted down from that, and then I had to count how high the letters were. So did that. So spacing is charted. Her name is charted for the most part. I think I still have. He messaged me. I was in the middle of charting, of putting her name charted on the actual pattern page that I have. So her name is charted for the most part. I just need to stitch it. And but literally that might take me a couple hours to do. So I'm not worried about time on that. I have time to do that. And then I can't do the rest of it. I can't do her birth date and weight and all that stuff. I can't do that until after she's born. So, but like, that's literally backstitched. All that information is just backstitched. Lettering and numbering and stuff. So, I'm happy to be finally done with the actual design of that. So, I might take the opportunity to get a little bit more of the Halloween stitching in while I can. Because like I said, that's not going to take me very long to do. Now that her name is actually already charted and stuff like that, I just need to go in and start stitching it. But I think I will at least today before I go to work. I do want to at least go ahead and get that first stitch started so that I know where I need to be at, so that I can go ahead and get oriented and stuff like that. So, I know I've talked a lot about that piece. She was in timeout for a little bit. The next thing that I'm going to show you, technically I finished what I was working on the last time. I am working on the Historic Country Sow that was in the Gift of Stitching, which I believe, if I'm correct, they're still accepting where you can purchase either just their December Christmas issues, or you can purchase their whole 7-year run. And that's only $39.95, y'all. Definitely go jump on that. There's a lot of good patterns in there. And, sorry, my throat's getting dry and I didn't bring a drink in here with me. So, I'm just going to show you real quick. Last time I didn't have a picture to show you. I couldn't find the picture of what part 1 looked like. But I will go ahead and insert that. And I just got the other stack finished. I think I was up in here, like I had about that much done up here. And so I just finished out where his legs are. And I debated continuing on with this, but where I had this centered in my Q-snap, I literally could only go down. And the next thing down, there is a row. There's a row of blocks of specialty stitches, and I just couldn't bring myself to start those. Okay, I'm back. Sorry. As much as I tried to fight it, I did end up getting into a coughing fit. And apparently these days, something about being pregnant is I can't just cough. It makes me start gagging. And I got into a really bad coughing fit. And so you didn't want to see that. You definitely didn't want to hear it when I walked away. So I'm back now. So what I was saying about this was, down here under the stags, there is 4 blocks of specialty stitches, different specialty stitches. And when I had this on my Q-snap after I finished him, I really just could not bring myself to start any of those specialty stitches. And I know I could have moved down a little bit further and started the motifs that were underneath those specialty stitches, but I didn't feel like doing that either. So that's where I've gotten, and it's actually showing up pretty good today. This is a 40 count, picture this plus. I always want to say heritage, but I might be wrong. So it's a tan, but it has like a green tint to it. So that was embarrassing. But yeah, this is just in the, it's just charted in DMC, so it's nothing, there's no fancy floss involved, unless you just want to do fancy floss. I am just doing this in DMC. Let me make sure. Sorry, my bag is messed up here. And I do give you diagrams for how to do the specialty stitches, but there is, just so you're aware, let me get the pattern out here. Just so you're aware, it's not 4, it's 5. Yeah, it's like 5. 5 different kinds of specialty stitches. I'm sorry. So you have somewhere. All right, maybe I might be able to find the information sometime today. Of course. Well, okay, so you can do it in, either Dinky Dyes or General Arts. There's a Krennic in there somewhere. But they do have the DMC charted as well. So, yeah. There's that construction down the road for me again. So, just to give you guys an idea, they say that the total design size is 510 wide by 320 high. So that should give you an idea about how big it is. And this was a mystery sampler that was in a monthly digital magazine. So they did not skimp out at all. So, in case you're wondering, I am looking for a thing that has specialty stitches on it. So we've got the zigzag running stitch, we've got a queen stitch, satin, and four-sided stitch. And then I think one of those is a rice stitch as well. So, yeah. Anyway, I didn't feel like starting any of those. Part of me still wants to keep working on this, but part of me doesn't. So I may pull out something else that's on a 40 count and work on that instead. So, moving right along. The next thing I worked on, I literally only worked on it for a couple of hours one day. And that is the Sleepy Hollow by Glendon Place. I'm not going to take this out of the bag. So, Sleepy Hollow by Glendon Place. I'm sure we've all seen it. And literally the only thing I did was, where these were initially, like, this was all, like, cut off right there. I literally just came out a little bit on the top part of the tail right there. That's it. That's all I could do that day. And I have a special set of, I think the power just went out for a second. I have a special set of magnifiers that I bought from Amazon, and they have multiple magnifying lens strengths, and I think it goes from like 1.5 up to a 5 time magnification. I have the 2.5 magnification in, which is only slightly more than the readers that I use for everything else, which is a 2.0. And they actually have it's a 2 strength light on the front of them. So when it comes to pieces like this, I have to use that. I have to use those magnifiers because this is a darker fabric, and I'm using darker floss right now. So it helps me out a little bit more. But it also right now it's not kind to my brain. So I only got a little bit of work done on it. And this is the called for fabric, which is the 28 count Haunted by Picture This Plus linen. So I don't know if it's coming up. It kind of has, yeah, I guess that's pretty good. It's overcast today, so yeah, I'm sitting right in front of a window like I always do, but it's overcast today. So that's all I got done on that one. Like I said, I only managed to get in a couple of hours on that. My kit. And it is fully kitted. I'm supposed to be doing that for Andy, but just like everything else, I procrastinate. And then the last thing that I have to show is I worked a little bit on this freebie that you can find online. You just won't be able to find it like on the Nora Corbett or the Nora Corbett or Mirabilia sites. You have to do a Google search for it. It's out there somewhere in internet land. But this is the Midnight Meow. It was designed by Nora Corbett. If I have a picture, I'll go ahead and put it in. I think I took a picture. But this is where it's at right now. I think the last time I only had about that much done right there. And so I went up, did his head, and I've come down a couple more rows down here as well. And when I first started this design, I didn't look ahead. I didn't think ahead because there's quarter stitches in here, like in his ears and in the eyes. I didn't think about that. And this is Ada. This is a 16 count Ada, I think. 16 or 18 count Ada, I can't remember. But this is a Fabrics by LJ piece. And I think the name of it is Heathered, if I'm not mistaken, but I might be wrong about that. So, my needle minder is the David Tennant from Fright Night, the newest version from like 5 or 6 years ago, I think it was. I might be wrong. I don't know. It was the remake. And we watched the original Fright Night the other night. It was so stupid. Anyway, that's where I've gotten on that one. I haven't got a whole lot done on it. I'm going to leave it out though. And hopefully get a little bit more in. I might actually work on it today before I go to work. Because my last day at work is going to be on the 25th. And they're having a shower for me after work that day. So I kind of have to go. And, so yeah. That's all I have to show. I know this video is going to be a little bit shorter than other videos that I've done. Even though I'm showing a little over 30 minutes right now. I had a coughing fit break, so that's definitely going to be edited out. So it's not going to be that long. Both my packages were mailed out. My prize, my giveaway was mailed out last week, at the end of last week, and she's already received it. My Harry Potter Sal that I put up for adoption on Facebook, that was chosen and is on its way to her in merry old England. So those are taken care of. Those are good. I'm actually surprised. I'm a little bit on it lately. So yeah, the only other thing is, you know, I had another ultrasound day before yesterday, and everything is looking good. She's up to like 5 pounds and 11 ounces, I think, or something like that. It's 5 pounds something. And as of today, I'm officially 36 weeks. So she still hasn't like completely flipped, you know, head down the way she should be. I forget what they call it. Oblique, I think, was the term they use, where she's still like, her head is she's still kind of sideways, but her head's over here by my rib, and I can feel it. Her feet are kind of over on the other side, and then her butt is down, like she's kind of something like that. But the doctor isn't worried. She doesn't seem worried that she'll still turn like way she needs to be, and that they do want us to pick a day. to be induced, just in case I don't go before the 39th week. So, and that would fall, I think she said, between the 29th of this month and the 5th or 6th of the following of November. And my due date's the 12th. So we're thinking we may lean more towards like the 6th, because he just started his job yesterday. He finally went back to work yesterday, and within those first 90 days, they're only allowed, I think, 24 points, as far as absences and stuff, and it depends on how many hours they work that day. Like if they work a normal 8-hour shift, and he's out for the entire shift, that's 8 points. But if he's out one day and they only work, say, 5 or 6 hours that day, then that's only 5 or 6 points on his profile. And so we're thinking that if we can schedule it for a Friday, which we don't want it to be this, the last Friday of October, which is what, 30th? We don't really want to do that, but we're thinking that if we can schedule it for a Friday, then he won't miss. He can still have a little bit of time to spend with me and the baby and not have to be worried about missing out on work. So that's what we're thinking. And that actually kind of works out better, because the hospital that I have to go to for my insurance is 45 minutes away. And if he's at work when I go into labor, one, I have to try to get in touch with him or get in touch with somebody that can tell him that he needs to come home, and then wait for him to get home so that he can drive me to the hospital. Yeah, we're thinking, I'm actually thinking, the more I think about it, the more I'm leaning toward the 30th, only because it's sooner rather than later. Because the longer we wait, the more we push it to have it happen naturally. So we'll see. We'll see. So that's really the only thing. Everything else looks good. They said all my measurements look good the way they should be. So yeah, the only thing going against me right now is my age and the fact that I am considered overweight or even obese, because I'm only 5'1" and I'm over 200 pounds. Let's just leave it at that. And the funny thing is, she's been gaining weight, but I've been losing weight overall. I guess it's because I haven't been able to eat as much. But baby's looking good. That's all that matters. So I guess that's all I have for you guys today. I don't foresee any haul coming in because I haven't bought anything. I haven't ordered anything. Unless I just up in one day just feel like terrible and I need some retail therapy. But as of right now, I don't have anything planned to come in. So I guess that's it. And I don't know why I'm looking around. There's nothing around here. So yeah, I guess that's going to be it for now. And hopefully, I'll be able to make it back to you guys before baby cat hair is born. And give you guys one last update for October for my stitching. Because once she's here, I can't guarantee how much stitching time I'm going to get in. So, and I'm still going to stay out of work for at least about 6 weeks after I have her. So, that's going to be fun. So yeah, I guess that's it. Short video, I'm sorry. Just don't have much to show, don't have much to share. So until I see you guys again next time, be good. Bye.